500 million people use Instagram stories every single day. Are you one of them? Hello, my name is Meg. Instagram stories insights can be confusing because there are so many terms, and if you're lost, I don't blame you. Today, I want to help you by breaking it all down for you. First of all, to view Instagram stories insights, you do need a creator or a business account. Once you've made the switch, you can find your Instagram stories insights in two places. First, inside your stories when the story is still live. Open up a story before it disappears and you can see it there. I have a story on my account now, so let's go take a look. I'm tapping my profile icon, then on the bottom left where it says seen by, tap that and your insights come up. You can also swipe up and voila. The next place, the insights button. Go to your profile, tap insights and you will get this screen. Scroll down and under content you shared, you will see stories, so tap the arrow. On the left, you will see reach and then last 14 days next to it. Tap any story you want to see insights on and swipe up. Now you will get this screen. Where it's blue, it basically tells you which option you're on. So this block graph is where you can see your actual insights. Next to that, you have an eye with numbers. Here you can see how many people saw your story and who actually saw it. Bear in mind that after 48 hours, viewer lists and view counts aren't available. But if you had a poll, you can see who voted for what. Then we have an arrow. This is to promote your story, but I don't encourage you to do that. Also, as you can see, you can't promote stories where you mention other accounts or use elements like stickers or music. Then we have another arrow pointing down, and if you tap it, you can save the story to your mobile device. If you want to post it on your feed, tap the icon next to it. If you want to delete it, just hit the bin. Let's go back to the first option. Because I live in Japan, message-related insights are unavailable due to privacy rules, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, you get an overview. There's accounts reached, content interactions, and profile activity, and basically you get a summary of several key insights about your story. The first is reach at 190, and this is the number of unique accounts that have seen the story at least once. Then we have impressions, which are the total number of times that the story was on screen, and it's 193, so this means that someone watched a story more than once. Normally, the number of impressions are higher than the number of reach. Content interactions are the number of actions people take when they engage with your story. This includes shares and replies and sticker taps in this case. Shares show you how many people shared your story on their account. Replies include text replies and quick reaction replies. I did get shares and replies, but because of the privacy rules, it's always a 0 for me, so sorry. Then you can see sticker taps, and I got 5. Sticker taps are the number of taps on location, hashtag, mention, or product stickers. Then here comes the confusing part, navigation. This is the total number of actions taken from your story, like forward, exited, next story, and back. So forward means people tapped on your story. This basically means that people skipped and didn't finish watching the entire story. It's not a good metric, but it's probably the most highest metric on average. Exited means people left your story and swiped down. It can kind of mean that your audience is bored with your content, but it can also just mean that they ran out of time to watch all of your stories, or that they actually clicked on a link and left Instagram, which is actually a good sign. Next story means people tapped to the next account story, basically to the next person's story. So they probably weren't interested in your content, they skipped you. Not a good sign in my opinion, but there was only 14, so not bad. Back means people tapped back to see the beginning of your story or went back to your previous story. This metric gives you an idea of what content your audience actually enjoyed or found useful. If you notice a story that has a lot of taps back, this is a great sign to keep posting stories like that. I got 4, which isn't that great, but it's always better to have some than none. If you're enjoying the video so far, please give me a like. Thank you in advance. Now, profile activity are the number of actions people take when they visit your profile after engaging with your story. So there could be profile visits, follows, and email button taps. Whatever action you have on your profile would appear here, and there's only 3 for me, but there are more terms, so let's swipe down and come back to this screen. Let's tap reach and you get all of these. Some of these are repeats, but let me just explain it again. Back is when someone taps back to the beginning of your story or to the previous story. Call button taps is if you have a call button enabled, basically have a phone number on your profile. Email button taps is if you have an email address linked to your profile and someone taps it. Exited means people left your story and probably left stories altogether. Follows are when someone follows you after seeing your story. Next story means people tap to the next account story, basically to the next person's story. Business address taps are when you have a business account and you have your address, your location saved. Impressions are the total number of times that the story was on screen. Link clicks are when people click the link button and move away from Instagram. Forward means people tapped on your story to skip to the end. Profile visits mean that people tapped your icon to visit your profile. Reach is the number of unique accounts that have seen the story at least once. Text button taps are again if you are a business and you allow people to text you. Website taps are when people click the link in your bio. Most of these would probably only apply if you have an actual business, but depending on your focus and goal on Instagram, you want to check these metrics, so just remember that you can find it here. Period-wise, you have yesterday, last 7 days, last 14 days, last 30 days, last 3 months, last 6 months, last year, and last 2 years. So definitely use it to track what sort of stories got you the results you wanted. I will upload an updated video about post insights on Instagram, so if you're interested, please consider subscribing. But for now, you might want to watch these videos to understand Instagram a bit better. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.